All right, isn't it time that people finally knew who you were and what your business did and the impact you're able to create for people? Now, I get this question all the time, and while there are many ways of getting more visibility and growth for your business, one of the quickest and most effective ways of doing that is through getting PR for your business, also known as publicity. I mean, imagine getting yourself on Forbes or Huffington Post or Oprah Magazine, or even on a Today Show or Good Morning America. Just think how big of an impact you'd be able to make if you were able to reach that many people. It would probably feel like winning a lottery ticket. The trouble is, most entrepreneurs have no idea how to get more PR for their business, because as much as we want to do it, most of us probably don't have that kind of budget yet. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you how you can start getting publicity or PR for your small business without having to hire an expensive PR agency, even if you've never done it before. Stay tuned. Hey Impact Makers, this is Camila Gornia, founder of Heart Behind Hustle, and I help impact-driven entrepreneurs to grow and scale their businesses online through aligned marketing strategies that turn their brands into movements. And through my 8 years of running an online business, I've had the opportunity of being featured in a lot of really cool places such as Forbes, Entrepreneur.com, Inc., Bustle, and many others. And I often get the question of, how do you do it? How can you actually get yourself on these platforms and getting yourself the publicity? And I have some awesome tips to share with you, but before I do, make sure that you stick until the end of this video, because I have a really exciting free resource available for you that's very limited in time, that's gonna help you getting publicity like as soon as this month, so don't miss it. All right, so usually when I hear someone saying, I wanna get more publicity, it sounds something like this. Sit on Oprah's couch, or I wanna be on the Today Show, or I wanna be on the cover of Forbes magazine. And by the way, I'm curious, what is your number one media opportunity? Where would you like to ideally be featured? Let me know in the comments, I'm super curious. So here's the thing, having these amazing big dreams is amazing and important, and I have them too. But if you have a newer business and maybe you haven't gotten a lot of publicity before, you've got to make sure you're setting some realistic steps for yourself so you're moving towards those big dream goals. After all, if you got a phone call right now from the Today Show saying, oh my God, you're amazing, we want to have you on the Today Show to talk about, your thing, most likely you would probably freak out and not be ready for this opportunity. And even if you did it, the likelihood that it would not be as good as it could be is pretty high, right? So here are some things you need to have in place before you go and reaching for the big guns. Number one is prepare to get seen. There are a few things you need to get in place to make sure that you are ready to be seen in the media. First, be clear on how would you describe your business in 1 or 2 sentences. What is your title? What is your specialty? What is your target market? And what is your mass appeal? So you're probably pretty clear on the first few, but you might be like, what's up with that last one? Well, the thing is, unless you're only planning on being on some very industry specific media places, you're probably gonna have to find a way to make your topic a little bit more appealing to people that might not be in your target audience as well, especially if you do want to end up on the Oprah show or Today Show or whatever the bigger media place might be. For example, a couple years ago, people knew me as the Facebook ads expert, and that worked really well for me. It got me a lot of clients, and I was able to land quite a few spots on popular podcasts and guest posts, and these are very specific to my industry. Now, as I was looking to get featured in other places, I needed to kind of broaden that out a little bit, because regular people or people that are just maybe thinking about entrepreneurship are not necessarily going to be looking for something super Facebook ads specific. And if this post or article that I'm featured in is bound to go viral-ish, we want it to be a little bit more interesting to the general public. So I would potentially then expand my topics and talk about also female entrepreneurship, or having an online business, or female empowerment, or something like that, which is broader but still specific to the people that I ultimately would like to attract. So how could you expand the topics that you talk about and make them a little bit more broad so that you can reach more people and not just focus on the industry specific media sources. So you see how you can start branching out and getting yourself in front of people that might very well be in your target audience, but still supporting yourself and creating credibility from these other media sources. Number 2 is to create your dream media list. I learned about this from my friend Selena Sue, and I'll share with you a little bit more about her later in this video. But the next step is to know, where do you even want to be featured? So I already asked you a question of what's your number 1 favorite place that you would love to be featured in, but we do have to start making a list of all the incredible places you would ultimately like to be featured in. And I recommend that you make a list of a lot, like 20, 30, even 100, and then start categorizing them in 3 different categories. First is totally dreamy, then it's someday soon, and then it's happening right now. So you're able to see, based on how easy it would be for you to feature it in these different places, you can start focusing on the happening right now to start building up your credibility and your portfolio of all the media appearances that you've had, so that it's easier for you to then move into the someday soon and then ultimately into the totally dreamy category. Which brings me to my next one, which is 3, build up your publicity portfolio. So I know everyone wants to be on TV and in magazines and the radio. For most of these cases, you need to already have a pretty decently built up media appearance list, so that for these producers that are interested in getting some people on their show, they have to see that you're gonna be able to handle yourself. You're not gonna like freeze and just embarrass yourself or anyone else, right? You wanna make sure that you're gonna be engaging and that you know what you're talking about, and you just wanna make sure that you instill the confidence in the producers when they're bringing you in. And the best way to do that is by building up your already created media appearance list. So start getting on podcasts, start getting on guest posts and other websites that you can be featured in. You can also start creating your own content, like a YouTube channel or a podcast, or writing your own articles on Medium or your own blog, and basically creating this bank of content where you get to share that you know what you're talking about, and other people see you as credible because they have been trusting you enough to share your brilliance with their audiences as well. So the more you're able to do this, the more you're going to build your confidence in showing up on camera or during interviews or whatever. And then those producers and journalists will also see you as someone that is pretty interesting to have on their show. And lastly, number 4 is to come up with newsworthy pitches. So yeah, you're gonna have to start pitching if you're doing this yourself. But the thing is, journalists are constantly looking for stories, and they are also constantly getting pitched different stories. So how do you stand out with yours? How do you stand out with your pitch? Well, you want to start thinking like a journalist, the person that's receiving all these pitches. As a journalist, I will probably want my content to be widely shared and read and, you know, celebrated, whatever, that you brought a really great piece of content, a great story to that platform. And to do that, it has to be relevant. So you want to ask yourself a couple questions. First, are there any hot trends happening right now? Are there any holidays coming up? Or is there anything happening in the current events that you could potentially weigh in on? Think about how you or your brand can provide some insight on any of those to make sure that the pitches you're sending are relevant and something that the journalist is actually going to be interested in reading about. And you're going to be one step closer to getting more yeses and getting in front of all these amazing people that are just waiting and still hungry for your message. So getting publicity is honestly very, very powerful for your brand. You're going to get in front of many amazing people, and you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on Facebook ads to make it happen, which is always a plus. But a lot of people struggle with actually doing it. I try to distill it into a few steps, but there's still the doing, there's still the steps, and how does it actually work for you? So I have a really incredible resource that I wanted to share with you that my friend Selena Sue created, and it basically will help you understand how you can start getting publicity as soon as, like, super soon, very, very soon, within a month or even less. And it doesn't matter if you want to get on magazines or podcasts or TV or many different places. So I did link it below in the description, so make sure that you grab that. It is available only for a very limited time, so definitely check that out. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who you think would benefit. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.